All right, I'm going to pick on you guys a little bit here now. Make sure that before you put the ball in play that you have communicated with your partners. I like everybody to be involved in that. You know, Mike's got the ball on the end line. He's ready to put the ball in play, and he's looking up at you, Anthony, and Anthony, you're not looking back at him. So you need to let him know that you're ready. So I don't really care what you do in terms of how you do that. You know, some of us do thumbs up, some of us do kind of point. He looked like he was dog paddling. He's like this. Mike, you have to use one-hand mechanics at the table. Yes. That last foul. Correct. You're correct on what you're saying. Yep. So trail and so the point is that trail and slot opposite stay opposite. I was trying to get to this because this is what I took a picture of, and I sent it to Craig, and we never got to it yesterday. But so you have two of them here. You have this one and yep, that one. Yep. No. Yep. So center and trail opposite. So center opposite, trail opposite. You stay opposite, which is what you had right here. So So trail's making this call here. Ball's out of bounds here, and he goes from trail to new lead. He goes from lead to new trail. He stays. So there's no movement at all on that play by the book. So he would call the foul and remain trail. Because in that diagram, he's actually lead. Because even though he's really the new trail, the mechanic is as if he were still lead, right? Becoming trail. Does that make sense what I just said? Okay, so I'm going to nitpick a little bit here, Anthony. On that play, that's really not a blocking foul. So anyway, Anthony, what I was going to comment on is what I would like you to do on that particular play, on that mechanic that you had on the play underneath the basket, where the offensive player went up and shot, and the defensive player went up and challenged the shot. When the defensive player goes up and challenges that shot, it's really not a blocking foul. Okay? So think about that. I mean, try to reserve your block signals for plays that are really more blocking, as in block charge plays, or illegal body contact when the player is moving laterally to try to draw a charge. Okay, you have a sub coming to the table, everybody. There you go, good job. But anyway, so on that play, when the defensive player goes up and challenges a shot at the basket, don't call it a block. That's what I'm saying. And we just discussed it. I turned the mic off and we were talking over here, but I would suggest that you just call a push on that. And if she went up and if she hit her on the arm, then call it illegal use of the hand. Okay, Mike, I'm going to question where you're standing during the first free throw. I mean, that is not our high school mechanic. All right, you guys, make sure that when you are the lead official during free throws that you do not line up in the first lane space. That is a women's college mechanic. That is not an NCAA men's mechanic nor a high school mechanic. Just don't go stand there. That's all I can tell you. See, that's good. I like you guys staying off that play. We still have a 24-point basketball game.
On the floor. On the floor. On the floor.
Okay, what I'd like to see you do there, Quan, is that's not just. I personally, and I think a lot of us will agree on this, that we don't like the on-the-floor verbiage, because I know that a lot of people do it, but it doesn't mean it's right. So that girl was driving to the basket and she got tripped. So she's either going up or it's out of bounds. So just because she's on the floor doesn't necessarily mean she's not shooting. Okay? Because you can still be on the floor and be in the act of shooting. So I would just caution you on that. I think it's just kind of habitual that we do that kind of stuff. So just blow a whistle, call the foul, and say, out of bounds. Or you could say, end line, baseline, something like that. Also mechanically for me, when Anthony is lead, so what he's doing as lead, he's on the headline and the ball's in the corner, he's backing all the way out and staying like this, and the player's right here. I don't understand what's the purpose in going all the way out there. You might as well. They go all the way. I mean, if you're going to go that